This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. According to Kate Chopin, marriage is naturally oppressive. In fact, she believes that even the kindest of marriages have certain elements of oppression. This is quite evident in Louise's admission that Bentley loved her. In addition, she agrees that he was equally kind. On the other hand, Catherine Mansfield considers marriage as a union of two loved ones who possess each other. It can be observed that Bertha feels like holding her husband, Harry, on her blissful night. Catherine also shows emotional conflicts that arise in marriages. This paper will compare the two short stories with a focus on the representation of marriage. Bliss by Catherine Mansfield. Catherine's short story narrates about a young woman who experiences bliss after a long time of feeling cold. Bertha is 30 years old and she is married to Harry. She has a young daughter with a nanny. On this fateful night, she experiences bliss. She feels warm and she wants to see her husband. According to Catherine, she had been feeling cold for so long that her husband had decided to understand. The couple invites friends for coffee on Bertha's blissful night. She seems to be excited about everything. She feels strangely attracted to Pearl. However, she finds her kissing Harry. Harry had initially pretended to hate Pearl. This complicates her situation. She is confused because she has loved her husband all the while. She has been naive to think that her husband was faithful. On the other hand, their other visitors, Mr. and Mrs. Knight, are portrayed as loving since they come together for coffee. The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin. Kate Chopin's story narrates about a wife with mixed emotional reactions. Louise Mallard is Bentley's wife. She is said to have a heart problem. She lives with her sister Josephine. Her husband's friend Richard gets information about an accident that supposedly involves her husband. Richard is afraid that Louise may suffer from a heart attack. Therefore, he uses Josephine to break the news to her. Initially, Louise is hurt, and she cries over it. However, after looking at herself in the mirror and after looking through the window, she finds belief in herself. She finds renewed strength in freedom. Freedom that she felt marriage had denied her. However, after celebrating freedom, Josephine comes for her. They move downstairs, where they meet Richard. Sadly, Bentley arrives, too, and Louise succumbs to a heart attack. Although the doctors said the heart attack was caused by joy, there is a possibility that it was caused by disappointment. Representation of marriage in bliss. Catherine represents marriage in an unbiased manner throughout the story. For instance, the Knights are shown to share their love without issues. In fact, she does not mention any problems between the couple. Moreover, they are portrayed as being together in the meeting, which shows unity and togetherness. However, Bertha and Harry do not share the same experience. Catherine notes that Bertha has always loved her husband except in a romantic way. She even notes that they have always discussed her coldness towards her husband, who agreed to understand. This has probably drawn Harry away from her. In fact, on this fateful day, her bliss comes back, she feels young again. However, Harry has another woman. Pearl is her closest friend, yet she is in a secret relationship with Harry. In essence, this marriage lacks romance and love. Harry is deluded that he can survive his marriage without romance. In the end, he cheats on his wife. On the other hand, Bertha denies her husband romance, which possibly leads to his cheating. Marriage is therefore portrayed as an institution with many emotional and physical issues that must be in union to forge ahead. Representation of marriage in The Story of an Hour. In Kate Chopin's story, it is clear that marriage is represented as an institution that contains many issues. In fact, these issues trigger the feeling of inherent oppression in marriage. According to Chopin, this is especially relevant to wives in marriages since she uses Louise instead of Brentley. Marriage is, therefore, portrayed as a cage in which the loved ones are oppressed in one way or another. In fact, to Chopin, all marriages are oppressive. For instance, Louise confesses that she loves her husband. In addition, she believes that her husband loves her. However, she feels remorseful for a few minutes, after which she breaks from emotional oppression. In essence, marriage is portrayed negatively since loved ones also feel oppressed. According to Louise, her marriage is fulfilling, yet emotionally, she is in a cage of inherent oppression. In some way, partners in marriage are portrayed as though they want to leave the union. This is evident in Louise's case when she celebrates having been freed, yet her husband's corpse has not arrived. Similarities. The two short stories have some similarities in their representation of marriage. One is that marriage involves several emotional issues. In Bertha's case, she experiences bliss, but her husband does not notice. On the other hand, the husband agrees to understand her coldness, possibly grudgingly since he goes on to cheat on her. Again, there is a representation of women being emotional in marriages as compared to men. Bertha and Louise suffer from emotional issues, while Harry is seen to be comfortable with his actions. Moreover, Pearl is seen to be highly disturbed by her actions as opposed to Harry. The authors also portray marriage to be full of deception. Deception in marriage is seen when Harry cheats on his wife. Deception is also observed when Louise celebrates her husband's death. Moreover, Bertha alludes to the fact that she has never loved her husband in a romantic way except for one blissful day. The authors also portray marriage as an institution of independent individuals. This can be seen in the way each partner in the institution plans independently. For instance, Bertha feels blissful, but she does not tell her husband. Differences. Marriage represented by Chopin is fulfilling, while the marriage represented by Catherine is lacking. This is evidenced in Louise's confession that they loved each other in their union. On the other hand, Bertha is cold towards her husband except on the blissful day. Similarly, Harry cheats on his wife with her closest friend. In addition, while Catherine centers marriage on romance, Chopin does not. For instance, despite the love between Louise and Brentley, she feels oppressed. On the other hand, Bertha's marriage lacks romance. Conclusion. Marriage is represented in various ways in both stories. However, they share commonalities in some aspects. For instance, deception is observed in both marriages. In addition, both marriages contain emotional issues, which range from oppression to romance, among others. The differences include marriage fulfillment in Louise's case and lack of it in Harry's case. In addition, Bertha's marriage represents unfaithfulness, while Louise's marriage represents faithfulness. This essay on concept of representation of marriage in the story of An Hour and Bliss was written and submitted by a student just like you. The Ivy Panda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for.